Being an adult before you're 40. How
Scares
dare
the
you?
fucking shit out of me. Well, especially when you have you don't have a wife, like a partner with an income, to at least be
Buy a
like
condo or something. You don't want to be mowing your own lawn and shit.
I know. That's the thing. I just need more square footage so I can make lighters.
Like a man mowing your own goddamn lawn.
No, don't get me wrong. There's a certain part of me that has nostalgia for mowing the lawn because I grew up on a farm. But you're right. For what I'm doing, when I want to just
be... If you got a rider, that's cool. But, like, in Madison, you're not going to have a yard big enough for a rider, so...
Yeah, no, you got the push mower like I got in this place. Although, this place is
you got to mow your own lawn there?
Yeah. I get $40 off. I get $40 off my
Dude,
rent.
what are you doing with your camera?
Look, all I see is my fucking head. It's a bad angle.
You gotta fucking raise it up.
Than 5 minutes to mow, so it's like perfect nostalgia. You get that grass cut smell, and then it's like it's over.
Yeah, you gotta get a table or something. I got my shit propped up on 2 pillows right
now. Got some pillows right here. Oh my god, Jesus! I just look out of frame. I feel out of frame.
Let me look.
Fucking Oracle ain't even at his own house. His shit looks better than yours, Teddy. What the fuck?
Piece of shit.
You know what?
Here.
Fuck y'all.
Let me try to fucking fix it, you goddamn baby. Cool. You fucking baby. Let me fucking fix it.
Are we live?
Yes, we're live. Now you're center frame, Teddy.
It's cool.
Jesus Christ, your big ass forehead right in frame.
Big ass forehead.
You're doing this to me on purpose, you fucking bastard.
All right. Here we go. In this episode of the Red Eye Report, we talk about extreme weather. There are more destructive weather events happening each year. We'll take a look at those numbers and extreme weather events from the past. Yeah, they had some extreme weather back then, too. With me this week is the always sunny Ashtray. How does he keep his constant demeanor? A drink in the morning, a few drinks in the afternoon, and copious amounts of drugs and alcohol in the evening. It's science.
Yeah. Right? Biology.
Right.
That's not biology. That's Satanism.
Also with me is meteorologist Mystic. He might not be able to tell you what the weather is like outside, but he will tell you how hot the wings at the casino buffet are.
Zing dangity.
Next to Mystic is Tornado Teddy. This is a new name for Teddy, one that he's picked up since he quit smoking. If you see him coming your way, get the hell out of the area. Not going to be pretty.
Better move, man. Not going to be pretty.
Finally,
like a Tasmanian devil.
Right? Finally, there's me, Oncoming Oracle. The name actually doesn't have anything to do with weather. I perpetually come in my pants. Constant orgasm. Sounds nice until you have to buy thousands of dollars worth of diapers per year. You win some and you lose some. Speaking of speaking of losing, this is the Red Eye Report.
Yeah.
That's right.
All right, fellas, pause for the cause.
Welcome to the worst podcast you never saw.
Hold on.
Yep. Pause for the Cause weekly benefit event. Which humane society are we sponsoring
Shout
today?
out to Travis. He brought his
The
tornado
Blackwood.
up.
There we go. Travis. Pause for the cause for Travis.
Travis, yes. Actually, let's all press F for respect for Travis because he just got the Rona.
Oh.
Him and his family, yeah. They were just up visiting, or not the family, but Travis was just up here hanging out with me, right? Pushing the line of like, how much we go out or not? And then he goes back home, and all of a sudden, 3 of the 4 of his family positive.
So you're the carrier.
Fucking Iowa. Fucking Iowa.
Fuck.
You're like a super carrier. Ashtray doesn't get sick. He's like fucking.
Well, I just, yeah.
Who was
actually,
that chick? Tuberculosis.
Typhoid Mary.
Typhoid Mary. Yeah.
You're the Typhoid Mary of drunks.
Yeah. Oh, pretty much. I must be because I thought. Well, actually, my nose was like a little ticklish today, and I was like, "Oh boy, here it is." I probably am starting getting getting the Rona, because I thought for sure we got it and he took it to his family, right?
Yeah.
Because we went to like 3 bars.
Mhm.
I mean, I didn't make out with any floozies. That was on Sunday.
Boosted?
It was on Sunday.
But then like on Wednesday, he's like, oh, shows me this picture. I was like, oh man. So today my fucking nose was kind of tickling. I'm like, all right, I got that extra Rona test. Better use it. Since Biden will send me free ones now. And yeah, negatory.
Rona.
Just a little nasal tickle.
Well, speaking of
So
nasal
ask for respect to
tickles,
Travis.
we're talking about extreme weather, and we hear about extreme weather almost on a daily basis, it seems like, in the news. So I wanted to actually look into this and some of these weather effects. This is off of some Center for Climate and Energy Solutions. They have listed out.
Making me hungry.
listed out some.
Mystic's making me hungry. I'm like, shit.
That was my last trip. Sorry.
Some of the biggest climate things that have happened in terms of dollars and loss of life. So there was Hurricane Katrina in 2005. It was $170 billion worth of damage. 1,833 fatalities. Hurricane Harvey, 2017, 131 billion, 89 fatalities. Hurricane Maria.
Damn, now Harvey, where did Harvey hit? Was that the one that hit New York, or was that Sandy?
So Harvey made landfall in Rockport, Texas. That's where it came in.
Texas.
Maria, that was 94.5 billion. That was almost 3,000 lives. So this is the one that
3,000 lives Maria took?
Yeah, that was in Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico, wasn't
it? That was pretty nasty in Puerto Rico.
That's probably because their infrastructure just fucking sucked ass.
Yeah, and Trump was throwing them fucking paper towel rolls.
Throwing them paper towels.
Hurricane Sandy.
Break that shit off your chin.
2012, $74 billion, 159 lives lost. That one hit the Northeast. Irma, 2017, 52.5, 97. That one was in Florida. Ike, I can go on and on. Ike was in 2008. That was in Texas. So, we hear about these hurricanes and all of these extreme. Irene. Let me see if I can find Irene on here. It isn't on this list. Guess it's not that important.
That bitch wasn't important.
It was a little bit.
What wasn't important? So looking at this, it got me wondering, because we have the news cycle, right? And we have news all over the place, and we're really reporting on this stuff. How is weather today compared to weather in the past, like these major weather events? And found this actually really nice list on FamilyTreeMagazine.com.
Oh, a fine authority of the weather.
Right. But this is actually quite interesting because it's 10 historic weather events and how they impacted your ancestors in the United States. And it is interesting to see how it affected the migration of different people and things like that. So in 1815, there was the Great September Gale. So they didn't have forecasting methods or early warning systems. And there was the first hurricane to strike New England in 180 years. So it toppled church steeples, ripped up fruit trees as far as 85 miles inland.
Not the fruit trees.
Lord, not the fruit.
And this is interesting because in Providence, Rhode Island, an 11-foot storm surge combined with the incoming tide to destroy 500 houses and 35 ships. And if you go through Providence, it has a lot of stone buildings in this. And apparently those stone buildings were the result of this hurricane, something that could withstand this major storm surge. Turn your volume down, you fucking son of a
I'm
bitch.
sorry.
Come on,
Where the
Grandpa.
fuck is it?
I mean, really, I was like, who the fuck is?
Need help with your flip phone or what?
Like, what's going on?
I thought it was me too. I was like, holy
It's on my
shit.
phone. No. I was,
So that happened.
I didn't even click on the video. It just started playing when I went to the Red Eye page. It was that convenient.
Why is the sound playing? Jesus Christ, turn the sound down. It's playing on your computer. Fucking retard. Okay, so this happened in 1815.
That was a great episode.
1816, it was the year without a summer. So in 1815, 1815, the same year as that gale, Mount Tambora,
the undersold tank tops,
erupted in Indonesia, and it spewed all kinds of shit up into the atmosphere. And there was a major shift in climate. So people couldn't plant their crops and all of this shit. They weren't growing. And this caused all kinds of unrest around the world because there was a major
famine.
Major famine and food shortage around the world. And there was a worldwide cholera epidemic as a result of this. Then we've probably heard about the Great Lake storms, but it surprised me just how intense these actually were. So in 1868,
Sinking of the Edmund Fitzgerald.
Right. I don't know when that one went down. Maybe it went down during this time.
That went down in the 70s.
Oh, well, it wasn't that. This was
it's actually more reason than you think.
1868.
70s?
What white people lore are you talking about?
I thought it was way older than that. Edmund Fitzgerald, there's some famous song about it. So 1868 to 1869, they had these storms between 1868 and 1869 on the Great Lakes sank or ran aground more than 3,000 ships and killed in excess of 500 people.
Damn.
Yeah. Pretty fucking intense. High winds broke telegraph lines or telegraph poles in Chicago. So they couldn't communicate about this. And that's actually where they set up, Ulysses S. Grant set up the predecessor to the U.S. Weather Service in 1870 to set up weather stations. And in 1873,
Teddy Roosevelt.
Yeah,
he used to keep a badger in the White House.
I didn't say Teddy Roosevelt.
Oh,
Grant.
I misheard you.
Jesus.
So
you were listening.
Your names aren't even close.
1873 to 1877.
I make up things.
They had locust plagues. So they had these fucking swarms of locusts that would come down, and they were fucking eating all this shit. And, people, I mean, the largest swarm recorded in 1874 covered 198,000 square miles.
Jesus,
fuck? Are you serious?
Yeah. A report
massive.
A report that year showed only one family in 10 had enough food for the winter. So that was pretty fucking intense.
Guess we're having babies to eat the baby, huh?
Seems like a lot of work for a small meal.
The Galveston Hurricane, 1900. So Galveston was booming in prior to the storm hitting in September 8th, and this was a Category 4 storm. It had 135 mile per hour winds at landfall, and water swept away buildings as far as 6 blocks inland and splintered the rest of the town. Between 6,000 and 10,000 people died. Rescuers dumped bodies at sea, and when they washed back, they built funeral pyres and just burned them.
Like, oh, our problem came back.
Right. So this is actually the deadliest weather disaster that happened. And as a result of this, Galveston was this big economic hub. Houston actually replaced it as kind of the economic hub in Texas.
Because of the devastation of the storm.
Massive devastation.
Like basically, Houston took over because it was still going.
Right.
Dude,
Damn.
do you know how big 198,000 square miles is?
No, I can't even imagine that. How big is that?
Like, just guess a state. Guess a state. And I'll tell you the closest one to it.
Montana.
No.
California.
Texas.
California.
Wow.
163,000 square miles is California.
Damn.
It's bigger than that. It's not quite Texas. Texas is Texas is 226.
Okay, so what was the count of these locusts covering this area? What year was that?
198,000 square miles.
So the locusts
California
were
what year was that?
1873 to 1877, or 1874. It was the big one.
That's fucking insane, dude.
Right?
Well,
and then they died out. The locusts died out.
Right.
After that,
they didn't die out.
Gluttony.
They're waiting for.
They all had heart attacks.
They became a Marvel character.
Right.
It's gonna be. They're gonna come back. It's gonna be just like a Gears of War. They come out of the ground.
Right.
Out of the fucking ground.
Right.
Come out of the ground and they're fucking
eat all our shit.
50 pounds with big machine guns and shit.
Yeah.
In 1925, there was a tri-state tornado. So this left
tri-state.
Well, it left a 219-mile path of destruction in Missouri, Illinois, and Indiana.
Tri-state. Okay.
Yeah. That's the thing is there's plenty of tri-states.
Right.
Yeah, we said tri-state.
Fucking Illinois, Wisconsin.
He'll tell us. Chill out.
Yeah, Missouri, Illinois, and Indiana. Killed at least 689 people. And this was averaging a quarter of a mile wide, but at times growing to a mile wide.
Wow.
Yeah. That's a big ass tornado. Now this one's crazy. So the Mississippi River flood, this was in 1927. So the Mississippi River was flooding, and the Army Corps of Engineers had just put up a levee. And they had a breach on April 21st at Mounds Ferry, Mississippi. And so armed guards forced African-American laborers to fill sandbags, though everyone could feel the levee was about to collapse. More than 10,000 refugees, mostly black, crowded onto the 8-foot-wide Greenville levee. Fearing loss of their labor force, planters allowed only 33 white women and children to board evacuation barges. They didn't distribute food from the Red Cross.
Wait, fearing the loss of their workforce?
Yeah, so they kept everybody there. All the black folks they kept there, and they put the white women and the white women and children to board the evacuation barges. Everybody else had to man the levee. Town leadership conscripted black cleanup workers at gunpoint. And relief director and presidential hopeful Herbert Hoover suppressed his own investigators' report on refugee camp abuses.
Hoover.
So the floods killed 1,000.
He was a
he was a good guy. Okay.
The floods killed 1,000 and left 1 million homeless. And African Americans moved north in droves. Within a year, half the Delta's black population had gone. And they probably went to like Detroit or something like that.
Right, yeah.
Right?
For real.
We have the Dust Bowl. We actually have an episode on the Dust Bowl with their crazy ass rabbits.
The rabbit. What'd they call that again? The rabbit flogging?
Something like that.
When they just like all got together and killed the fucking rabbits.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah, they even had film of it.
Beat rabbits.
Rabbit.
So
save your bullets. Use your shoe.
I mean, they had some pretty massive fucking weather events in the past. But when you talk about global temperature rise and things like that, I've got this up on the screen here, and you can see that it's pretty clear that we're getting a little bit warmer here. There's a a steady increase.
Global warming? What?
Right.
Yeah, right. It looks like a fucking Bitcoin chart.
And
going up.
One thing that I didn't realize with global warming is that it actually, because of the moisture in the atmosphere, it actually sucks up moisture from other areas. It evaporates, and then it dumps it on areas that wouldn't normally have it. So that's why we're seeing this intense rainfall and intense precipitation in areas that we wouldn't see before. And this is on NASA's. I know they're completely disreputable, but NASA's website.
Government funded.
If it's not Wikipedia, it's not true.
Right. So some of the effects of global warming, they say that this is, going to continue to rise. Changes in precipitation patterns. That's what I was just talking about. More droughts and heat waves. They're estimating that the temperatures during the summer are going to be 10 degrees hotter than what we expect it to be. So for this, let's see here.
Are you still going to your thing tomorrow? Yeah.
I think they said 2050.
Going to all my things.
I think they said 2050.
2050?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You feel okay? What's
That'd be
happening?
that time when we were in our golden years.
Mom said you were sleeping.
Yeah, so my blood sugar went
Right.
low today, high.
So we won't be able to handle it. So hurricanes will become stronger and more intense. And just, if you don't believe that weather has been hotter, the last night when they were doing this this data, they said the last 19 of the 20 years from 2020 to 2000 were the hottest years on record. So it keeps on beating the record every year.
I wonder which year was not the one, the 19 of 20. Which was the one year that was like, oh no, this year I'll be all cool.
Yeah, I'm not sure. But it fuels hurricanes. It fuels the weather, right? When you have these warmer weather patterns and then they collide with the colder stuff.
You got extra energy in there stirring up those fucking molecules.
Yeah. That's what so we have there's a lot of Californians moving here.
Mm-hmm.
And
to get away from the weather and the fires.
Well, no, they're fleeing California in droves for some reason.
Well, also taxes too.
Well, I guess yeah. Anyway, so they're like a lot of them are. They're like they get creeped out about tornadoes, which happens down here twice a year, winter in the spring and winter and shit, and fall because of the warmer weather and cold weather changing. But I told them, I was like, at least we can see those coming. Y'all motherfuckers, like, earthquakes creep me out. I mean, the ground moves in California.
Earthquakes are just there.
Whoa! I mean, they're just there. Right. I'm like, and so one of my, he's like, one of the guys like, yeah, me and my wife just went and said they tell you to go in the doorways. I'm like, yeah, you're just go sit on the couch, bro. You'll be fine.
Well, Californians have more to worry about because NASA is predicting that the sea level will rise 1 to 8 feet by 2100, which is a pretty significant rise.
2100.
Yeah, 2100. And also for the Southwest, they'll have increased heat, drought, and insect outbreaks as a result out there. Midwest, extreme heat, heavy downpours and flooding. Southeast, sea level rise. Northwest, changes in the timing of stream flow reduce water supplies for competing demands. And Northeast, heat waves, heavy downpours, and sea level rise for this. So, things to look forward to. But I don't know. I mean, I think a lot of it too is that every single significant event, I wonder back then, these were the big events, right? These are, I mean, you're talking about a locust swarm the size of California, or even bigger than California. How many other weather events were happening at that time? I don't know, and they weren't reporting on it, but
what were the locusts running from?
Well, and you also have that thing too, where it's like, if you think about it, back at that time, even at that time, like we only have that measurement probably because of like small local news, like newspapers or whatever, all recorded this same event across this area, so they got that estimation of just how big that is. Whereas now, like, man, we got radars and shit that can precisely measure it. Think about 100 years prior to that locust storm, what kind of catastrophic stuff that maybe, especially in indigenous areas where it's like they didn't keep written records, but they could have been like whole tribal communities wiped the fuck out, and we didn't know.
Right, we didn't know about
fuck out.
Right.
No white man needed.
There you have it. No white man
to be fair,
needed.
Though there are a lot of tribes you don't know about that were wiped out by white men.
I'm not saying they didn't.
Just keeping it 100.
Well, that was the joke.
It was a tornado.
Because usually they're wiped out by white men.
Right.
It was a tornado with teeth.
Earthquake just swallowed the whole town.
Right.
Why is it all burnt to the ground? I don't know.
Yeah, right.
It was that way when we got here.
But it just looks like a bunch of bodies.
I don't know.
They've been stabbed. What's happened here?
What's
that's it
on?
For the extreme weather. Next up, we have What's Sexy, where we tell you what's good in the world. And first up is me with ice fishing. I've been doing some ice fishing over the past week or so. Got myself
When's the last time you ice fished prior to?
Many years ago, like 20 years ago.
Right? I was going to say, like, I think it's been since I was probably grade or like elementary school.
Right. So you got it.
Maybe middle school.
Right.
That.
You need to have the good. Okay, so the walk out there is brutal.
Is fucking brutal, bro.
When I was walking out there, it was like a -10 wind chill.
It's you got to be on some thick ice.
Dragging that shit out.
Dude,
the ice is fine.
Like, driver's truck out. I'm like, man, we're all gonna die.
No, like, you're not driving your vehicle out there. You're just gonna walk out there. You get yourself a sled, and I got a hub shelter. I've got a little propane heater. I brought the boat battery out, so I actually hooked my laptop up to it, and I get 4G on my work phone, so I use that as a hotspot. So I was like answering emails and shit.
Fucking first world problems,
right?
Dude.
I'm like,
look at you.
Well,
man, the walkout was terrible, but once I got out there, I was working remotely just fine.
Yeah, man. Heater on top of ice.
That's a good fucking deal. I've been enjoying that. It's been a lot of fun going out there. It's cold as a motherfucker. I think it's like -10 degrees right now.
Yeah, what do you got? It looks like, is it kind of like a tent type thing?
Yeah, it's a tent. It's called a hub shelter. So it just pops out as like a tent. You can get fancier ones. I got this one for like $130. And there's no floor on it. And they've got some nice stuff. Like I've got this drill adapter.
You pin it down in the ice a bit?
Yeah, you got to, if it's windy, you need to pin it down. And they've got things like ice auger kits where you put a power drill in there, so you don't have to deal with a fucking gas, big ass gas thing. And
or the old hand crank ones.
Well, fuck that shit.
Yeah, crank it like a man.
Yeah,
that's
not dealing with that.
That's how you get hair on your chest.
Yeah, well, I will be hairless on my chest because that's some bullshit.
Answering emails. I'm already answering emails while you're still turning that thing.
What's that, Teddy?
What'd you use to drill your hole? What'd you use to drill your hole in the ice?
I use that auger with a power drill. Takes me like fucking 2 seconds to make the hole.
Nice. What'd you catch? How much would you get?
So I've been going out multiple days. Sometimes, I took my mom out there. We caught probably like 20, 25. Took my dad out there. We caught like 20, a lot of bluegills, caught one decent crappie. So yeah, it's good. Having a good time out there.
Do you toss them back? Or you?
Yeah, unless if they're big. If they're big, yeah, like this bluegill in this picture or this pumpkin seed, I took that home. I only caught a couple that day because I was answering emails and then they'd steal my bait and then I fucking
Sons of
yeah, motherfuckers.
Oh, fucking in the middle of a sentence.
Yeah, they hear the right. They're like, all right, take the fucking bait now.
Go.
Yeah, right.
Okay, next up we have Mystic with Badass Reporter.
So I don't know if you guys saw this shit, but this reporter in West Virginia, she's an MMJ, which is a multimedia journalist. So she doesn't have a photographer.
Yeah,
so she sets the camera up and like
a
she's
one lady show.
So no one's there to tell her, and this like woman hits her.
Holy
fucking
shit.
knocks her over.
Yeah, with like a Suburban.
Yeah. And she gets up and finishes the live shot, man.
Wow.
You know what
I'm
saying?
surprised the producer didn't cut away right away.
Yeah, I'm gonna cut that instantly.
Because immediately it's like, oh shit, like we have a situation here. Or just cut back to the anchor,
She comes back on camera with like a compound fracture or some shit.
Yeah, I'm okay.
Oh my god, it's bleeding so much.
The drivers here really did.
It kind of sounds like she was kind of bumped like from the back and like knocked forward and she tipped her camera over, but she rolled with it. Literally.
So did that driver stop or did they keep on going?
Yeah,
the driver
stopped. NBC News interview, like she said the woman was like freaking out, like she didn't see her, I guess. How you couldn't see someone
with a light on them?
Camera and shit.
Because she's driving a big fast Suburban.
Yeah, looking down at her phone.
But like, what was a West Virginia dude? If that shit had happened in Detroit, people would be getting shot on camera. That reporter probably had a gun. You know what I mean? I would have fucking just started. Pop, 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 pop.
I would watch that.
Well, if it happened in Milwaukee, it would have been the same shit. I'm not singling out your shithole Midwest.
Well, even in the when she got hit, she's
more
like,
than my shithole Midwest.
She's like, don't worry, I was hit once before in college. Like, what the?
Yeah, I heard that.
Just
in the
like
interview.
cracked a joke.
Yeah, I was hit once before in college. What? What are you doing? Were you just getting hit by cars?
Right. Teddy, 3 weeks smoke free.
Tomorrow will be 3 weeks of non-smoking.
Damn, dude.
You're past the threshold, man. You're out of the woods almost.
Well, I have been using these little 2.4% pens whenever my cravings hit. Mainly dealing with people at work, stupid fucking questions. The restaurant will be full. The restaurant will be full. Somebody come in. Are you all open? I'm like, no, dumbass. We're just all here hanging out.
We just here
hanging out. Joke in waiting? Don't they do that in waiting?
Probably. They do all the jokes in the waiting. One of my outlets is being able to talk shit on the phone to certain customers, which we'll get to at my phone. You think? Part.
So Mystic? What's out of the woods?
Out of the woods? Like,
in terms of smoking.
After like 3 weeks to a month, like it's the psychological part kind of like starts to go away. You know what I mean? You don't need it as much. Like
your body definitely doesn't need it as much.
I guess the psychological is the only thing left. You're past the physical addiction to nicotine.
Well, there
you go.
That's
where I hit about a month was when I was like, fuck it. Like I made it this far. I'm doing this.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Ashtray, Mystic in his house.
Yay.
Mystic in his house. Hey, everybody give a shout out to Mystic for finally getting a webcam that worked. Now all we got to do is buy him Oracle. We got to buy him one of those fancy ring lights that like the chicks on.
My daughter. I actually got my daughter one for Christmas. I'll just use hers.
Yeah, there you go. You'll be just like you have an OnlyFans page. It's like,
right?
Yeah, right. Put makeup on it, sure.
Well, it's good. It's good to finally see you, and people just think you're just some guy on the telephone.
Oh, this is CG.
Yeah.
It's actually a CG thing. That we've set
This
up.
is a
Yeah,
deep
right.
fake.
This is it's a deep fake.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we joke
They
about
just
that.
added like 200 pounds to like The Rock, and then made him real ugly.
Yeah. No, more like a Chris Hemsworth who's got diabetes.
Yeah, like a real fat Thor. Like there was Fat Thor, and then there's like My Life is Over.
There's Mystic.
There's Mystic Thor.
Said my life is over.
You know, fuck it.
Oh shit!
Next up, we have
You guys
Fuck
are
What
all
You
Good to see
Think,
you, buddy.
where
Smoke a weed
we
and
tell you all to get on the levee and fucking start packing sandbags. Otherwise, we're going to shoot you in the back.
Yeah, Travis.
Wow.
All right. First
Get
up
on the
is
levee.
He's white though.
me with Sony crying about the Activision acquisition. Have you guys
I
heard
saw
about
that,
this?
yeah.
So
No.
Microsoft,
Microsoft, bro. What the
yeah,
fuck?
they bought
What the fuck?
Activision, Blizzard. So they own
Yeah.
fucking Call of Duty. They own fucking what's that
Like,
shooter game?
Overwatch.
Overwatch, and everything else. I don't know what else they have. I'm
So-
sure a ton of other
what's
things.
the biggest
World of
online
Warcraft.
game ever? Warcraft, yeah.
What, Warcraft? Yep.
Yep.
They own that shit too.
But
And
basically, they own like 30% of gaming at this point.
basically,
Microsoft.
like non-first party gaming, they own this. And Sony's just like, we expect Microsoft to fucking
Share.
share and make sure these
Right,
games release on other
Well,
platforms.
yeah, I mean, Blizzard, because they can stop fucking like Call of Duty from going to PlayStation now. You know,
They can, and they should,
And they fucking will.
because they own that
You know
shit.
why? Because fuck
Right.
them.
They own
You
that
want to
shit.
play Call of Duty, you're buying an Xbox.
I actually welcome this, not only because I own an Xbox and I think that Game Pass is great, and I'm looking forward to playing those Call of Duty single player campaigns. I'm not interested in the multiplayer, but I do enjoy the single player campaigns. But the games never were discounted. They're always, $50, $60
Yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah, they're okay.
It doesn't matter how old it is. But I also welcome this because I want the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox to be two distinct different systems with two distinct different games that they offer. I don't want to buy two of the
Well-
same system.
I like crossplay.
Well, cross-play is possible. So Ubisoft, I was talking about
Crossplay
Rainbow.
ain't possible if there ain't going to be a game in another
Yeah,
library.
Yeah, but
Some people
know,
prefer the
you-
PlayStation, that weird PlayStation controller to the.
and
some
they
people have
they
the
do, and maybe they can do this, but crossplay wasn't possible for the longest time because Sony did not let it happen.
Yeah,
They were the
Ah.
ones. They were
Yes,
the ones
they
that
were the
weren't
ones that
letting
were
it
against it.
happen.
Yeah.
So fuck
Yes.
those motherfuckers. Let me play
I don't
fucking
think-
Uncharted on the PlayStation. Let me play, God of
Right.
War or whatever, which actually released on the PC.
Well,
But
yeah.
I want two separate fucking systems here. I don't want the same thing.
The
for
two
both
games you
systems.
mentioned, you can't play those games on Xbox.
Yeah, I was just going
Right.
to say.
You
I mean,
can't.
play those on-
so-
You said
can't.
let me
I mean,
play those on the
My thing is,
PlayStation. and I
you,
was like,
but my thing is, you already have your distinct system. You already have, you already have your distinct system where you can play Uncharted, or you can play what's the little fucking or Event Horizon or whatever the other shit is.
Right.
And I can play my games on Xbox, but like a game like Call of Duty or a game like Madden or something like a sports game or something like that. Those are the games that go on both systems, and so
well, I say
we'll see.
increase
Yeah.
multiplayer play. You want to have a
don't
wide
think-
audience.
I don't think Microsoft will do that. Will make Call of Duty exclusive because
No,
that's
they'll.
a lot of money that they're
That is a
throwing
lot
away.
of money.
People aren't gonna
True.
just buy an Xbox to play
They
Call
would
of Duty.
license it to Sony. Yeah.
For
Right.
sure. Yeah.
If
Fuck,
anything,
just
But-
take
but
money and let
I
their
hope they
players play.
release it on
Smaller
Game
titles.
Pass.
Future ones. You know
Mhm.
what I'm saying?
Right.
Like that's fucking
Right.
They got that shit by the
Right.
balls, and Sony's gonna have to pay.
Exactly. You
They
can't
wanna-
tell me that Sony doesn't have fucking money. They've got money, right?
Yeah.
Fucking start buying some shit. Buying some
Yeah, right.
Go
studios.
buy
Looking
your
at their
own game.
books.
Fucking go buy EA
Right.
or some
But,
shit. You know what I
Like,
mean?
I
dear
welcome
God, no.
this because,
Well,
okay, as a
you know, I
gamer,
also
I
wonder,
will get
is
both
it
systems.
Sony,
Yeah.
being still like a Japanese company, has not been very good at buying American game studios.
Right.
True.
Think about it.
Yeah.
They haven't been good at buying American
And
game
maybe
studios.
because, or maybe they've tried, and I don't know, you hear those other stories of completely other industries where it's like, oh, you know, like now our RCA factory is owned by someone from Japan, and they come over here and try to, oh, you're going to make them like, you know, the whole like culture clash. I don't know,
Mhm.
maybe like,
Well,
that's a factor,
and that definitely has existed, but the tentpole series, the major games for PlayStation are all American game studios. Like these are the big
oh, like
American,
the flagship.
yeah, the
So like
flagship.
Uncharted and stuff.
Yeah, right. So I don't know. It would be cool if Microsoft put Call of Duty on Game Pass and then made Sony players pay for it, pay $60 for it. Or actually, PlayStation games are $70. So
Are
there you
they?
go.
Really?
Our PS5 games are $70.
Yeah, they're $70
What, really?
Wow.
There you go.
Inflation.
Right,
Dude, I guess.
Although
I'll
remember
I'll
when
be
they
keeping my
used to be
phone for a
$50?
little bit longer then.
right.
Think about how long we've been putting up with $60 for the AAA release price.
For a long time, I seem to
a while.
remember that
Think about it.
N64
Well, the Nintendo
games
games
were
were
fucking
like $50,
$60, weren't they?
Oh,
Yeah,
well, I was
they-
just saying,
they were.
SNES, Super Nintendo games, I think were $50, right? Like for
Yeah.
brand
Yeah.
new ones.
Yeah,
You think
and then
about
the
it back
the
then, it's
PlayStation
like,
games-
damn, that's
PlayStation games
exorbitant.
were like
How
$50
much?
and shit.
How much
too.
did movies cost back then? Have those changed?
When movies first came out on VHS,
Like in the theater, or
which
you-
what I would
oh,
say
VHS?
is comparable
Hmm.
to a video game system would be VHS. They were like over $100 to buy them.
God damn.
A VHS tape?
Yeah, beta and VHS early
like
days.
early
Because
days,
it says
okay.
it when you watch that Blockbuster
Yeah.
thing, that's like why movie rental places became popular, because they had the money
People
to
couldn't
buy
afford to.
hundreds of copies of this movie and
Right.
rent it out and make money back.
Right.
So when they
Right.
became affordable, like that's kind of what, you know, and now streaming, like it just
Right.
Killed it.
right.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Did.
video games have stayed the same, you know, they've gone up.
That's what
if
I'm saying.
anything.
Like they seem like they've stayed the same for a relatively long period of time, considering. And even the
Oh, yeah. Well,
console prices, I don't think they've. How much was it? Did it cost to buy
they're-
a fucking SNES?
Well, they're more because a PlayStation, like,
SNES was like $250, I believe.
well, yeah,
Yeah,
like a
back
Super
then.
Nintendo, I think was 200 or 250.
Yeah.
I mean, the console prices have gone up because now the average to get a brand new system is what, $500, $600?
But that's probably comparable to what you were paying, you know, compared to what the dollar was spent back then, you know.
Yeah,
Well, true, but then if you think about
$199.
paying $50 for the brand new Super, like when Super Metroid came
SNES.
out, I fucking got that shit, you know, like right away.
Right.
You know,
Yeah, but
I
the
think I paid
regular
$50.
Xbox was like $350, wasn't it?
The
regular
probably.
Xbox?
The original Xbox.
At
I
least
don't
the
think.
360
Oh well,
was.
I've got a list here. Okay, so the regular Xbox was $299. Get this, the Intellivision was $299.
Really?
That came out in 1980. The NES was $199, Sega Master System $199, Genesis $189, SNES $199, 3DO was $699
Yeah.
Damn, I remember the
in
3DO.
1993.
Remember Gex the Gecko?
Holy
Yeah.
fuck! PlayStation $299, Saturn $399, 64 was $199, Dreamcast $199, PlayStation 2 $299. GameCube $199, we did Xbox, Wii $249, PlayStation 3 was $499.
Yeah, when it first came out, before the lower
Yeah,
price.
that's
Fucking
like where
shit.
that's where the prices jumped. Right there.
Just they ended up lowering their price though because it was selling but not as much as it should have.
Damn, the last generation, PlayStation 4 $399, Xbox One $499. I didn't buy one of those new. I bought like a rehab one.
I brought the Scorpio. I brought the
Well, I
pre-order
still don't even
stuff.
have the new one. Do you miss
It's called Project Scorpio.
No, I have the regular, the older one.
Yeah.
Xbox One, yeah.
That's for Xbox One X is $499. How much
is that the top model?
That's the top
one?
model. How much is the S, Teddy?
Probably $100 cheaper.
$299. $299.
Oh, $299.
Yep.
So, yeah, what's the difference between the S and the X? Is it video output or storage or processing or all of it?
Probably
storage,
all of it.
It's storage. Also, the S does not have. It's all digital. Doesn't have a disc slot.
Oh wait, the X one has a disc slot.
It does, yeah. It's
so you can play old games.
It's also got a terabyte of storage.
Well, it doubles as a Blu-ray player then too.
Right.
I mean, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Can you play the original Xbox One games on it?
The ones that are backwards compatible, yes.
Which Xbox has a lot of backwards compatibility.
They do, but with PlayStation, all of them are supposedly backwards compatible.
Really? Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Can you play PlayStation 2 games on a Playstation 5?
Apparently, yes. Apparently, it's supposed to be.
So on your $400 game console, you can play fucking
Twisted Metal.
Blood Rain 2.
Twisted Metal 1, man.
With the original graphics, baby. Yeah.
Right.
Man. Actually, I played, the
nostalgia is a motherfucker.
Consoles.
Right.
Like the mini PlayStation. A buddy of mine got me one for Christmas, and playing Destruction Derby with that fucking old D-pad. Not even the PlayStation 1 the DualShock thumbsticks. Just
right.
Oh my god.
Doesn't
so
hold
bad.
up. Do they have Destruction Derby on that?
Yeah, on the mini one.
Nice. Next up we have Mystic with Cinco Ocho.
The Cinco Ocho, baby, has become the term you use when you fuck something up. Not only just where I work, but, just in life in general. Because the Cinco Ocho is 58, CBS 58. I don't know, man. I should have just waited it out at Fox, to be honest with you. Because it's like at least Fox had money to throw at the problem, which made it a little bit better.
Well, you could always...
This is like, it's fucked up, but we can't do anything about it.
You could always get a job back there at a higher level at some point.
I probably will. I hope the sports guy. Thinking about buying some Coke and planting it on the sports guy or something.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go.
And then so he gets busted, and then I can take his job back.
Yeah, right. Performance enhancing drugs.
Right. Just go to a Quick Trip and have everybody cough into a cup on like a napkin.
Yeah, right. What do you call that? An Omicron slushy?
So gross. Yeah, so it's just, that's another saying. Like we just go, it doesn't have to be good, just as long as it hits air.
Right.
I think that's just like a news thing. Like they don't care.
Well, in the 24-hour news cycle, yeah, they're just more cranking it out.
Right.
It's just, and it's ridiculous. If I'm going to cut something and I'm going to that's why you want me to do it, then you need to give me enough time to do it.
Right.
Yeah.
This news editing shit's pissing me off.
Do you feel like at least at Fox that the higher ups were more appreciative of the quality?
No. But in sports,
they just had
were. In sports, they gave you enough time and they gave you enough footage. You know what I'm saying? They didn't. Of course,
because it's sports. It's not like breaking sports. Oh my God, this guy just kicked a touchdown and there wasn't even a game plan.
News. That's why I'm bitching. It's more just like a news thing than anything else. But no one seems to be in charge, which is like irritating as fuck. Like somebody make a decision. Like I emailed I Teamsed, used Teams at work, 'cause fucking Microsoft bitches. But so he fucking sent the executive producer Sarah, sent her a message. I'm like, hey, I need the sources for this shit, for this package. She's like, oh, talk to Matt. He's helping her with that. So I talked to Matt, and he's like, oh, just talk to Amanda. I'm like, what the fuck? Who the fuck's in charge here?
Yeah.
Why?
All right.
I'm
Like,
not-
I
I
need an
shouldn't have
answer
to
so I
do-
can finish this.
I shouldn't have to fucking ask 3 different people where the fuck the shit is to cut your fucking package. You want it to hit air, you fucking give it to me. Anyway, go ahead. I'm
There you
done
go.
bitching. That's all I have.
Ashtray home ownership.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Home ownership, not cracked up what it's supposed to be. Anyways, I had a brief flirtation with the idea. Only because my friend's neighbor was in a situation where, basically, to sum it up, rich mother buys her young 25-year-old son a house, puts a bunch of money to fix it up. I mean, it's a small house, about 1,000 square feet, cute little starter house. But then she moves to Florida, and he proceeds to do all the drugs, and it's become a
Just
shit
all of
show.
them, huh?
Yeah, all of them. Yeah, like they're to where like the night of New Year's Eve.
Did you
The cops
apologize
had
to
to
her for doing
resuscitate
this?
him.
Oh,
Holy shit. Yeah, that's doing all the drugs. All right.
No, I'm not just saying like, oh, he's just wasting his money on weed and being lazy.
okay.
No,
That's what I thought you.
Right.
it's like shits.
What happened on New Year's Eve?
He was given a Percocet. And it's like nowadays it's like could be anything in the fucking pill. It's like
Right.
who knows how many people are just like just a pinch of fentanyl, give a kick to it. It's
Right.
like, woo. And anyways, this is a whole shit show. So because the market is ridiculous right now to buy a house, especially in Madison, you can't buy a house unless you've got like 10 to 20 grand more than the asking price to outbid
To outbid people, yeah.
people. It's a seller's market,
Wow.
Mhm,
And yeah, a buddy of mine who I teased because he had to move just on the other side of the interstate, which was like, oh my God, you're way out in the middle of nowhere. Well, they needed to expand to a bigger house, and they ended up looking at 12 different places and kept getting outbid, and they ended up in Brooklyn, Wisconsin, which is a half hour away now. Like fucking Christ. So anyways, the whole point being is that because neighbors of my friend, like I got kind of an in on the mom who put all this money into this house, new roof, fully remodeled kitchen, fully remodeled bathroom, tore down the old shitty garage and built a brand new one in the back. Like a lot of money was put into it, and especially the roof. Because that shit's expensive, and no one gives a shit about the roof till it's leaking on your head. And the show, we're like, oh, we got an in, right? Like, the whole, like we could get first dibs maybe if we make this work out right? Yeah. Well, turns out, fucking,
Are you okay, buddy?
the guy who was
what's
living
that?
upstairs
Is this what a stroke looks like?
was a
What's
cousin.
going on?
Are you okay,
Oh.
buddy? Can you feel your left side?
I'm sorry, I was just like exasperated by this whole situation. The idea of like buying a house, and because it's just a shit show where the guy upstairs apparently was like, oh, I just thought it was some guy who's like out of town for the weekend, right? No, it's like everything left. Oh no, it was some guy who screwed over a drug dealer and just decided, well, I got to skip town and not let anyone know where I am at. So it's like he left.
There's a
all of
fucking
his belongings.
crackhead like up in the attic or what?
Well, I don't know if he was crackhead or, whatever his drug was. He screwed over some dealer and, like to not be, I guess, killed or he just like ghosted. Like, and he left everything too. Anyways, it's just like, God damn it.
So who's
Ashtray,
gonna
don't buy that house because you're gonna be trying to go to sleep one night and they're gonna drive by and shoot you and shit.
Oh, no,
and then he still lives
no,
there.
there'd be the ghost of the guy, Harley, who died there because he.
What?
That's.
Wait, that
Why
guy
Yeah, one of the reasons
died?
why.
even?
Wait a second.
Like,
Who the
someone
fuck
OD'd in the
died?
house.
Somebody else
Somebody
died
OD'd now.
there?
Is this the,
Someone OD'd in it too?
Well,
Is this the-
I'm pretty
is
sure
this the
he
house
did.
that they shot train spotting in? What is
Sure.
going on here?
Well, I mean, it's a mixture of hearsay and like, what actually happened, but the one of the roommates of the the rich kid whose mom bought a house for him, like screwed over a drug dealer or something, and the retribution was that he had to be knocked, like, by one of the other guys, had to be knocked out or they were going to come for him. And so, like, literally, I think this is hearsay, could be completely a made up story, but one of the roommates had to knock him out on video. Like, this is how fucked up things are with cell phones. Had to knock him out on cell phone, right? And he knocks him out, but he also breaks his jaw. And so because his jaw's broken, he has to go to the hospital and get his jaw wired shut. Like fucking Kanye. But he's on some opioids for the pain, and combined with the fact that he's on alcoholic and possibly doing other opioids, they came home and found him fall down the stairs as dead.
Damn.
This was like last fall, and like that's when the neighbors kind of like, what the fuck is going on in this house? And the mom, who's down in Florida, is like, oh, I guess I gotta fucking I just want to get out of this mess.
The drunk mom.
God damn, man.
Yeah. So it's just like, I don't know.
Like a
After all
fucked
this,
up house, I just stay where you are.
You are a depressing person to be around.
You need to buy a van. You should live in a van.
I'd live in a
Down by
van
the
if I
river.
didn't have if I didn't have an arc, an arc full of animals. No, an art archive, and also my lighter factory. That's why I got to move. I'm just
buy like a storage unit.
Just buy 2 tiny homes.
And just make
rent
lighters
out
in the
storage
cold.
unit and live in a van. Ashtray. That's you, bud.
The thing you forget
I'm
is
not
how
saying
much.
like a shitty van. Like get a nice,
I know.
nice-
The thing you forget though is
nice
how much I
okey-dokey
appreciate
van.
and love showers.
What about
That's true.
what
my
about places
appeal and
just
love
to the south of Madison there? Like as you're going towards like Evansville and Janes? Because your work is kind of, well, you don't have to go that far. There's got to be places in between there, right?
Well, part of it is the dumb geography of the isthmus, and the 2 lakes. That is a part of the reason why it's so expensive. And but yeah, there was actually a sweet deal that, of course, I've had 2 different places I've looked at now, where I was like second in line. Well, it was a condo, 2-bedroom, 2-bath, 2,000 square feet for $1,800 a month, and it was all inclusive. Had electric, gas.
Okay, that's good if you got the utilities,
water,
right,
and internet, and it had like one of those like condo community pools and a gazebo and shit, and right there on the lake. It's like and it would be like 4 minutes from work.
Mm.
Yeah, it's outside of the neighborhood where I've been here for years, on the east side of the isthmus. But still, like, it'd be even closer to work. And then work itself, yeah, I got to drive around the lake, but 15 minutes, depending on traffic at the most. So, I don't know. I'm still trying to stay in the neighborhood. I just need more square footage to make more lighters because...
I'm telling you, dude, a van.
Are you still trying to stay in the neighborhood or the neighborhood?
Get a van and live down by the lake.
Well, I'll stay in either with Teddy.
I'm just
a tiny house. You should
get
one of those tiny house
like
things.
4
tiny
people
houses.
And
should move
instead of
into the
like
tiny
sharing
house
a house,
community and make homeless people
yeah,
make my
instead of
mileage.
sharing a house, you just buy one city lot and put like 4 little houses on it, and you each get your own little house.
Right.
And an east side
You know
of the
what I'm
house.
saying?
They
So
can
you
each
can have
make
roommates,
lighters.
but you don't have to share anything with
You
them.
should
just have
set
your
up
own
a
little house.
non-profit to help homeless people, and by helping them, they make my
They give
lights
them
for
a
you.
job.
There
Yes.
you go.
Yeah.
There
You know,
go.
though, they'd take half of them.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just
Oh,
do
yeah.
free slave labor. Awesome, cool.
It's
Hey.
just like, yeah, people are telling me, hire high
We're
schoolers to
white,
do it.
Teddy. That's how we think.
Path
I'm
of the
sorry.
white man, Teddy.
Just-
Yeah.
it's our physiology, man.
Right.
And they say it so proudly. It's because we're white, buddy.
Right.
We can do it. Yeah.
Carrier pigeons can
Right.
find where their
right.
way
Woo.
home. White men can find ways to screw over black and brown folk,
Exactly.
just as sure as the sun rises. All right, next up
Mhm.
we have Teddy.
Payday loans.
Teddy
your
with
privileged
stupid goddamn salesmen.
Okay, so my fuckers think is gonna be changed to these 3 assholes. Because okay,
These
so
white assholes.
so as I've said earlier, I've stopped smoking. I do work in customer service. And at the restaurant, we get a lot of guys calling. You know, we have a magazine that we think you all would love to be in. We have this. We try to sell you off for this. Are you happy with your fucking internet provider? Are you happy with your phone service guy? And it's just all these guys trying to sell us stuff. And so like, and they want to talk to the owner or the GM and everything else. I'm like, but they don't want to talk to them. And I'm like, and this is after after like 3 or 4 times of saying, hey, we're not interested.
Yeah.
We are not interested. And they still call back. And I'm like, look, bro, look. And I'm like, I just want to talk. Let me talk to him. No, bro. He's sitting here going, no, doing a little cutoff thing with his neck. All right. He doesn't want to talk to you. That's why he's letting me say, hey, we don't want to fight. The guys, they
They're
keep
persistent.
calling. We're persistent, right? And it's just fun that I just get to sit there and be like, yeah, no, you stupid motherfucker. He doesn't want to talk to you. Like he doesn't want to talk to you. So it's just yeah, they're not taking
common thing with small businesses. The my boss is a pretty good thing is like, you know, instead of trying yelling or chastising is because usually they'll ask for because they get a name from a calling list, like the boss's name or something, or off of an invoice, you know, they fucking hacked from somewhere. And what they ask for, oh, yo, is so and so John there? You know, it's like say instead of arguing, just oh yeah, wait, hold on, let me get what's your name again? Yeah, let me get your name. Hold, I'll go get him. Let me put you on hold. I'll go get him. Put him on hold. Just leave him in purgatory.
No, my thing is like,
And more honestly,
hold.
I'll be honest, they barely wait more than 20 seconds. Like you see the
For real?
phone when like the call drops. And I'm sure it's probably like a time thing where it's just like they just go to the next number, you know, and harass the next number.
Right.
Just put them on hold.
Oh.
Bloop.
See me, they're like, what's your name? I'm the guy they put on the phone to say, hey, stop calling.
Every once in a while, we'll get one.
I don't give them the name. It's like
We'll get one who's like, you put me on hold.
Can I have the
My boss
owner's
will be
personal
like,
number? I'm like,
hung up.
no, you cannot have the owner's personal number.
The owner's
they ask that all the
personal
time.
number.
But when I worked at Hollywood Video, I would sing terrible
Wow.
songs to. I
Back
would
in the
say
1800s?
I would put them on hold, and then I would sing terrible songs to them.
That's even better.
Yeah, that was pretty good. It was pretty hilarious.
You ever heard that dude that it's probably on YouTube? I'm sure it's on YouTube. But that audio where he's talking about dipping his balls into the fucking his nutsack is stuck in the disk drive. Remember that?
No, what was
He
it?
calls customer service, like Dell customer service, and he's like, "Yo, my fucking nuts are stuck in your fucking disk drive and shit." She's like, "What?" It's like, "Yeah, my nuts are stuck in your disk drive." She's like, "What do you mean your nuts?" She's like, "Yeah, Google nutsack. Like that's what I'm talking about. My nuts are fucking stuck in your disk drive and shit." And like, she's like, "Dude, sir, what are you talking?" It's like he keeps going. He's like, hold on, let me put you on hold." And he like fucking has hold music, and it's like ass and titties, fucking ass and titties, like it's that song. And he comes back like singing it and shit. He's like, "All right, here we go, man." Like so. So I thought like I could just get my nuts in this fucking disk drive, and they closed and shit. So my nuts are like, and he's trying to get her to Google his nutsack. You've really never heard this shit?
No.
No.
I'm gonna play. It's one of the funniest things ever.
Well, put it in the thing. Put it in the outline.
I will. Oh, in the outline.
Yeah,
No,
put it
in
in
the
the-
message thing. We won't need to.
Yeah,
we
put
only
in the
do this on
message. It's
show. We're good.
11:08.
All
We're
right,
over
all
time.
Yeah.
right. All right. Well, that's the show. In all seriousness, go fuck yourself, housing market. We're here every Wednesday or Thursday night at 10 p.m. Central. Make sure you join the conversation at theredeyereport.com or facebook.com/redeyereport. We don't have a Twitter. We've been banned, and Teddy said he was going to set one up, and he hasn't set it up.
That's because, like as I said, the past 2 weeks, I just can't bring myself to do it. I don't give a fuck about Twitter.
Don't do
I can't
it.
do
Good
I'm
for
sorry.
you.
Don't do it.
I'm
Like
sorry.
a
I can't do it.
sheriff-
I just do not care about
Right.
Yeah,
It's
it's
just
better.
it's a cesspool of bitchiness.
Right.
I mean,
like
really.
us share, we already have enough problems. We don't need Twitter problems. Like us, share us, or fuck us. We're down for
Fastest way to-
whatever. I'm Oracle.
This is Ashtray.
I missed it.
Twitter. And I'm Teddy.
You drinking, Teddy?
Diddly, diddly, diddly.
I am drinking Faco roasted
Faco?
coconut
Oh.
juice.
Loco. That's his $4 can juice.
Yeah.
Yep. He's a
That's the shit I
hipster now.
paid
And that's the
100
bulk